All right. So Pathfinder Second Edition, Outlaws of Alkenstar. I think that's how you pronounce it. Sounds good. Player's Guide by Patrick Rennie. So here's my personal stance on these Pathfinder adventure paths. I think it's fantastic that every adventure path has a player's guide. Not just because it's good for the players, but also it's good for potential DMs. Here's why. If you read a player's guide for an adventure path and you walk away at the end and you're like, huh, that's kind of cool, you probably shouldn't run that adventure path because it's going to take 40 to 50 3-hour sessions to run, and you really don't want to be like strapping yourself in for something that you only think is all right. You need to read the player's guide and walk away fucking pumped. Like, you need to be like, oh, that's the coolest shit ever. If you're not feeling that, you should probably read a different player's guide until you find one that you are excited about. I would say the number one exception to this is, oh, thank you, Lucky. I would say that the exception to this would be if you are confident in your ability to improve upon existing adventure paths. Like if you, like for me, I could look at a really bad like D&D one, know that it's pretty popular and be like, well, I'll see what I could do with this. It's got some good bones here. Let's go ahead and put some meat on those bones. So I guess if you could like, if you get excited about the core concept, maybe, but I feel like you really want to be able as a potential game master to read that player's guide and be like, "Oh, that's good shit." Like I can't wait to get in on the, on that. That's what I want. If you read it and you're like, "Ooh, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that," then maybe, just maybe, you shouldn't run that. Find something else. All right, so let's dig in. Right off the bat, we've got the iconic inventor. He's some kind of dorky looking half elf. No, it's half orc. There we go. Yeah, he's like a half orc. He's got this little robot. I don't know. The inventor's basically like the artificer. I heard this is a pretty artifice heavy campaign, which might be a nice change of pace for me, cause like I'm a little anti-artificer in my heart, so this might be a good chance to just lean all the way into that. We'll have to see. I do like firearms in my fantasy. I think that that's fun and cool, and I don't have a problem with that. And yeah, let's see what happens. I've never run a cowboy game. I've never played in a cowboy game, um, so this would all be completely new to me. And I've been playing tabletop for about 28 years. So in 28 years, I've had pirates, I've had steampunk, I've had futuristic, I've had sci fantasy, Star Wars, World of Darkness, first, second, third, 3.5, Pathfinder 1, 4E, 5th edition. Did some playtesting for 1D&D, played the GURPS, on and on and on. But I've never actually just played in like an old-timey Wild West themed game. So let's find out what's inside here. All right, scrolling the player's guide down. All right, I'm already intrigued because there's like a dwarf dressed like a flapper or like a saloon girl or something. So that sounds pretty good. How to use the player's guide. The city of Smog, Alkenstar. Your character suggestions. All right, let's see how it goes. How to use this player's guide. Welcome to Alkenstar. If you're reading this player's guide, it means you and your friends have decided to play in the Outlaws of Alkenstar adventure path. In this campaign for Pathfinder 2nd Edition, you'll create a first-level character and take on the role of a criminal outlaw in a steam-powered metropolis. I'm getting pretty excited. To get revenge on the villains who ruined you, you'll need to defeat clockwork creatures, collect fantastic firearms, and navigate industrial dungeons, magical wilds, and myriad social spheres. If this sounds exciting, you found the right adventure path. Well, I got some goosebumps here, so I'm going to say I'm pretty excited. Excitement level's like about a 7 right now. That's pretty good. To play this campaign, all you need is the Pathfinder Cool Rulebook and a character sheet. With the permission of your game master or GM, you can also use other Pathfinder 2nd Edition books and accessories to further customize your character. Get ready for the product placement. While not required to enjoy Outlaws of Alkenstar, Pathfinder Guns and Gears, wink, is an especially useful supplement to have on hand, as it contains a number of character options and rules, elements specifically designed for characters in Alkenstar, the industrial metropolis at the heart of this adventure path. This player's guide is organized into the following sections: Alkenstar, the city of smog, an overview of the industrial metropolis in which your story takes place, your character, important background details and aspiring lore to consider before creating your character, and character suggestions, additional guidance, practical advice, and specific tips for creating a character tailored specifically for Outlaws of Alkenstar. That's right, get your fucking circus clown out of here. That's a different adventure path. There is actually an adventure path to play as circus people. I'm not just making that up. Alkenstar, the city of smog, in the heart of the war-torn Mana Waste. The Mana Waste. Okay, I like that. A metropolis of industry, innovation, and intrigue awaits travelers hardy enough to make the journey. Beneath the towering gaze of brass spires and stone fortresses, amid a tangle of oil-slick streets and soot-stained alleys, human inventors and their clockwork creations walk beside mutated gnoll scavengers, bronze-masked religious zealots, and fire-fleshed genie-kin merchants. Many spend their days toiling without respite in grimy workshops or smoking factories. Other patrol the cobblestone streets for their fortunes, one hand firmly on their holstered sidearms, ready to confront a rival gang or runaway bounty. All the while, pistons, gears, and cogs within every machine and building turn as steadily as the hands of a clock, all maintaining the mechanical rhythm of a settlement that never truly sleeps. This is Alkenstar, the city of smog. Okay, excitement level is now at about an 8. Outlaws of Alkenstar begin in the Eponius... Epimonius? Sure. God, they're so smart. Outlaw of the Alkenstar begins in the Epimonius city. Whether your character is Alkenstar born, a first or second generation immigrant, or a total newcomer, it's worthwhile to master some of the City of Smog's basic nomenclature. Nomenclature? Fucking A. The following is some basic information about Alkenstar known to most locals and visitors alike. Where on Golarion is this campaign taking place for all you lore hounds? The Outlaws of Alkenstar adventure path starts in the city of Alkenstar, as we've established about 4 or 5 times, an industrial and technological mecca in the Mana Waste of Eastern Garund. For more information about the Mana Waste and Alkenstar, see page 195 through 199 of Pathfinder Guns and Gears, or pages 74 through 76 of the Pathfinder Lost Omens World Guide, which we have because it was included in the big bundle that just happened with Humble Bundle. All right. Places of note. Alkenstar is a large city in an arid desert environment built atop the edge of the 400-foot-tall Hell-Fallen Cliffs. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. What a good name. Formidable stone walls protect the city on all sides from wasteland raiders. The easiest way into the city is via the steady-flowing Ustrati River, which naturally bisects Alkenstar. I'm into it. In the center of the city is Alken Falls, a massive waterfall set 100-yard back from the rest of... Wait. In the center... Maybe I gotta put my readers on for this. In the center of the city is Alken Falls, a massive waterfall set several hundred yards back from the rest of Hell-Fallen Cliffs to the north. Thousands of vessels traverse Alken Falls each year by way of the Screw, a technological marvel that can raise or lower multiple ships at a time from one end of the falls to the other. Well, that sounds pretty dope. Let's see. The wealthy districts and neighborhoods south of the Ustrati are referred to as Skyside, whereas the polluted industrial quarters to the north are collectively known as Smokeside. This is giving me some big Netflix Arcane vibes here. Within these two major regions, the city is further subdivided into loosely defined wards. Smokeside is home to the quaint inventors neighborhood of Steam Haven. Another great name. peaceful Ustrati Heights, and lively Ferris Quarter. In the Sky Side, one can attend swanky aristocratic galas in the Capital District, peruse the many marketplaces of Auburn District, or head to Pilot Square to pay for passage aboard an airship or dirigible bound for major ports along the eastern Gurundi coastline. Wow, there's airships too? Oh my goodness. A few city districts defy categorization into either Skyside or Smokeside, including Hellside. I don't want to go there. A shanty town that literally hangs from the side of the cliffs overlooking Arkan Falls, and the monster-infested ruins of Ironside Quarter along the city's far western walls. Well, good thing we're never going there in the adventure. Alkenstar's major institutions include Alkenstar Castle, from which the city's elected politicians hold court, the Temple of Bree, overseen by the highly influential priests of the goddess of Clockwork, and Blythier College, the city's only major magical academy and hub of higher learning. Of course, as in any city, Alkenstar's most important cultural movements occur among its people, not its leaders. In the skyscraping towers of Grayson's Fingers, in the Capital District or upscale establishments like the Longhorn Lounge, socialites mingle and make deals behind closed doors at ritzy soirees and gaudy galas, whose eclectic luxuries are made possible only by the skilled engineers at the Tin Wound Hydra Forge. All the while, criminals, both organized and independent, haunt Alkenstar's alleyways, sewers, and seedy taverns, like the Hotfoot Hippodrome, where untold quantities of illicit wealth are pushed through the city like so much lifeblood. At popular saloons like the Barrel and Bullet Saloon, impoverished factory hands and honest laborers hold court from the fortress of a taproom table, and wielding only a mug of watery ale. Beyond the city's walls lie the Mana Waste, a turbulent, craggy desert, irrevocably altered by centuries of magical warfare from the neighboring wizard-ruled nations of Nex and Geb. Immigrants from either country are common in Alkenstar. Many such expatriates are wanted by talented spellcasters, and so they come to Alkenstar to exploit the region's strange, ambient effects on magic and hide from their aggressors. Others are spellcasters themselves, who wish to experiment with the craft in the heart of the Mana Wastes. 2 geographical regions occupy most of the Mana Wastes. East of Alkenstar is the Obari Ocean. Oh, wait. 2 geographical regions occupy most of the Mana Waste. East of Alkenstar to the Obari Ocean is the arid, storm-racked Spellscar Desert. Spellscar Desert. Whoever names these things. On the city's other side is the Western Ravage. Wow. I want to be able to name things this good someday. A craggy badland which spans the many miles between Alkenstar and the Barrier Peaks. Just 50 miles west of Alkenstar is the Gunworks, a sturdy outpost of innovative metallurgists, ambitious gunsmiths, and seasoned wasteland rangers. Here, a massive cannon called the Maw of Rovagug protects the city from roving bandits and violent monsters. Closer to Alkenstar proper is the dwarven sky citadel of Dongung Hold. It was from the inventors and alchemists of Dongung Hold that the settlers of Alkenstar first learned the secrets of black powder and firearm technology. As a result of the settlement's decades of commingling, many Dongun dwarves can be found within Alkenstar's walls. Hot damn! This sounds pretty cool. Maybe it's alright, I guess. We'll see. Notable personas. Though the city's rulers prefer to believe that their laws and norms make Alkenstar a safe, orderly place to live, the truth is that power of all kinds, monetary, social, alchemical, swaps hands as a matter of course. Most of Alkenstar's citizenry can be divided into either the working class or the aristocratic elite.
The former labored ceaselessly to produce goods, services, and wealth, while the latter lived to consume these resources. Alkenstar's best-known aristocrat is also the city's leader, the popular and savvy Grand Duchess Trietta.
Hold on. Grand Duchess Trietta Ricia? That sounds good.
Grand Duchess Trietta Ricia. Beyond politicians, the aristocratic class also consists of the city's money movers, power brokers, including notorious financiers like Ambrose Mugland, and infamous iron-fisted shield marshals like Deputy Angelique Lovelace.
Angelique Lovelace. Fuck yeah.
Lower on the social ladder, but no less impactful, are charismatic rumor mongers disguised as humble workers, including the Bullet and Barrel Saloon's own shotgun-toting barkeep, Phoebe Dunsmith.
Is it Phoebe? We'll go with Phoebe.
Beyond humans, dwarves, and other beings of flesh and blood, Alkenstar is home to a diverse and populous class of clockwork servants, incapable of thought, feeling, and even, in most cases, any sensation at all. These mechanical drones serve their creators diligently and without question. Private companies and well-off individuals build or buy their own clockworks to perform repetitive labor, private security, or miscellaneous errands. Likewise, clockworks commissioned by the Grand Duchy fill less desirable civil roles, trash collecting, late guard shifts, road maintenance, so that the working-class laborers can keep their heads down and focus on the job at hand. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, clockwork inventors wage their own shadow wars and arms races to develop ever more impressive clockwork creations. In addition to inventors, Alkenstar is home to creators of nearly every stripe, particularly alchemists and gunsmiths. Among this class of tinkers and scholars, technological news and rumors of new innovations spread at the speed of sound, often literally, considering the booming explosions that can be heard from workshops and factories at nearly every hour of the day. For example, recently an eccentric alchemist named Vashon Gattleby stunned onlookers at his ill-fated exhibition at Blythier College, where he showed off a devastating new explosive called Pyronite. The Pyronite incident, as the exhibition has come to be known, sent shockwaves through Alkenstar's scientific community, with nearly every metallurgist, engineer, and researcher speculating upon the implications of this dramatic new weapon.
Magic in Alkenstar.
The city of Smog has a reputation for favoring technological innovations over supernatural ones. This is partially as a result of the city's origins. The expatriates who immigrated from the nations of Nex and Geb to found Alkenstar were mostly renegades and exiles. They eschewed the strong magical traditions of their wizard-ruled homeland in favor of a different approach to common societal problems. The emergence of black powder technology from nearby Dongung Hold only exacerbated newcomers' preference for alchemy and machines over wands and spellbooks. Fuck yeah. Another reason for Alkenstar's relative dearth of spellcasters comes from its climate. The mana wastes are infamous for the devastating magical sirocco's that regularly sweep across the deserts. These mana storms, in the local parlance. When a mana storm rolls in, spells and magic powers are much more likely to go awry, so wise spellcasters sheathe their wands, and travelers run for cover. During such storms, a well-aimed fireball is just as likely to hit its mark as warp into a spear of ice that backfires on its caster. Thankfully, the walls around the city of Alkenstar protect those inside the settlement proper from the worst effects of the mana storms. Local forecasts called whisper sheets, oh my god, often offer reliable predictions for times of day when magic might not function as intended.
See, the weatherman we learned about earlier today. He's got a job here.
In the Outlaws of Alkenstar Adventure Path, magic is assumed by default to function reliably and as described in the Pathfinder Cool Rulebook. This means that you can play a sorcerer, a witch, or any other spellcaster without fear of being at a disadvantage. Unless I'm running it. The rare mana storm might complicate matters once or twice during the campaign, but your character will be made well aware of these events in advance, giving you plenty of time to prepare for situations that could dramatically impact your character's abilities. Man, Pathfinder, you guys are real sweet to each other. That said, your DM might have other yes! That said, your DM might have other ideas in mind, especially if he's that asshole Crash Jam. Particularly if the rest of the group is interested in playing a campaign where magic is relatively rare. If you plan to play a spellcaster class, make sure you check with your GM, because he's probably going to fuck you hard on this one.
Wow, that's the language, please. Let's see. Your character.
In the Outlaws of Alkenstar adventure path, you and your friends assume the roles of wanted criminals who must operate outside the law to earn their fortunes and freedom. Your ultimate goal is twofold: clear your name,
I thought we were bad guys.
and also seek revenge against the villain responsible for your ruined reputation.
Oh, I see. You might not have been a bad guy, but you got forced into it. Sounds like some Dishonored shit right there. Ooh, does kind of have some Dishonored shit right there with the steampunk.
Read on to learn more about the implications of your outlaw status, the nemesis responsible for your infamy, and the upcoming job that promises to help you get revenge.
Alright, running this adventure path. Playing in Outlaws of Alkenstar is a blast! And running the adventure path as a GM can be just as fun. Bitch, it better be! If you'd like to run your own Outlaws of Alkenstar campaign, doing so is as easy as picking up the first volume in the series, Pathfinder Adventure Path number 178, Punks in a Powder Keg. A complete adventure for 1st through 3rd level characters. You can find this volume and many more Pathfinder adventures at your friendly local game store or paizo.com. After the party has finished the adventure, you can continue your player's exciting story in Alkenstar and conclude the campaign with the 2nd and 3rd volumes in the Outlaws of Alkenstar Adventure Path series, Cradle of Courts and The Smoking Gun. Okay. Outlawed. At the beginning of this adventure path, your character is presumed to be an outlaw, a notorious roughneck, wanted renegade, or wrongly accused runaway, currently at large and charged by the city of Alkenstar with breaking 1, 2, or a dozen laws. The crime of which you've been accused might be petty, such as trespassing, picking pockets, or breaking and entering, or it might be grand, high treason, prison break, murder. Or it might land somewhere between these two extremes. You might have committed the crime with full knowledge of your misdeed, or perhaps you believed you were in the right and had no other option. Maybe you didn't do anything wrong at all and the entire matter is a grave misunderstanding or a setup. Whatever the specifics, you've caught the attention of Alkenstar's organized guard force, the Shield Marshals. Now, to retain your freedom and eventually clear your name, you'll need to stay one step ahead of the law by operating outside of it, of course. This means that you must disguise yourself before appearing in public. You do well to avoid drawing undue attention towards yourself, and any allies you have are either wanted criminals as well, or aid you only after thinking long and hard about whether to do so. No one in polite society dares to be seen by your side, and your opportunities for honest work are slim to none. You best buy yourself a big fake mustache and some mustache glue to put that big mustache on your face. How did you get yourself in this predicament? The specific details of your alleged wrongdoing are up to you to decide. For some inspiration and potential ideas to help you build your character's backstory, see the new backgrounds starting on page 11. These backgrounds also provide you with an important hook: the name of the betrayer responsible for your newly acquired criminal reputation. Bitch, I was born with a criminal reputation. I didn't need nobody to give it to me. Gunmetal grudge. Even if your character's misdeeds were bound to catch up to them, the bulk of the blame for your character's ill fate rests firmly on the shoulders of one of two infamous Alkenstar villains: the notoriously corrupt Deputy Shield Marshal Angelique Lovelace, hell yeah, or the infamous business mogul Ambrose Mugland.
The backgrounds on page 11 are designed specifically to explain your character's grudge against either Lovelace or Mugland. But you can pick either villain as your sworn nemesis and tailor the reasons for your character's vendetta however you like. Whichever of these wretches wronged your character, it's an open secret in Alkenstar that Lovelace and Mugland are in league with one another, each using their particular realm of influence to scratch the other's back, though this makes them nearly impervious to the forces of law and order. Few with the power to do so are brave enough to take the pair to task. Their alliance is useful because it expands your character's pool of potential allies. After all, there's a famous saying in Alkenstar: make sure you use enough mustache glue on your fake mustache. Oh, no, sorry. There's a famous saying in Alkenstar: a bullet from my enemy aims as true as any gun.
Oh, damn, that's fucking cool.
The heist. In the days immediately preceding the beginning of this adventure path, your character received word of a potentially lucrative job opportunity. Apparently, a mysterious job broker is looking for a party of outlaws to rob a bank called the Gold Tank Reserve in Ferris Quarter. The employer is Phoebe Dunsmith, a tavern proprietor and barkeep, much beloved by the rough and rowdy clientele of her storied watering hole, the Bullet and Barrel Saloon, that we've mentioned about 7 times, so you know it's going to take place a lot of stuff's going to happen there. Dunsmith's promised payment for the heist might be tantalizing, depending on how hard up your character is. More importantly, though, is the fact that the gold tank is owned by none other than Ambrose Mugland, and some of the gold that flows through it eventually finds its way into the pockets of Angelique Lovelace and her league of crooked shield marshals. With the goal of hitting your nemesis where it hurts the most, the coin purse, obviously, you've decided to take up Dunsmith on her offer. That's it. You can't not do it, or we're not playing the adventure. You better listen. I'm not fucking around. This is what you're doing to start the adventure. To pull off such an audacious stunt, you'll be working alongside a handful of other outlaws who also bear grudges against Mugland or Lovelace. If you've any hopes of succeeding at all, you'll need to befriend these fellow level 1 idiots and coordinate your tactics, at least until you gotten your sweet revenge.
Wow, this sounds amazing. Oh man, I'm into that shit. I've never run a Western themed adventure. This could be really fun. Character suggestions.
Though you're free to create any kind of character you like,
You're not. You better not. You better create one thematic to the adventure or I'll fucking kick you. Oops, sorry.
Though you're free to create any kind of character you like for the Outlaws of Alkenstar adventure path, the following suggestions, and we mean suggestions in a very definitive and forceful way, are designed to help you make a character well suited for this campaign. These suggestions are summarized on the table on page 9, which lists character options from strongly recommended to not recommended, meaning you better not use them. Alignments. We don't care about that shit. Moving on.
Alright, fine, I'll read it.
Because you and your friends will be taking on the roles of outlaws, it makes sense that your character might be someone who lives outside the typical legal parameters or codes of ethics. Because of this, chaotic good and chaotic neutral are ideal choices for your character's alignment. Such characters likely find themselves frequently at odds with Alkenstar's highly regimented powers that be, including the Temple of Bree, most of whose devotees tend to be lawful neutral. Shield marshals, guards charged with upholding the letter of the law, and the many famous guilds, private armies, and shadowy corporations whose strict regimented systems keep the city's denizens in lockstep with power brokers' fiscal and industrial aims. On the other hand, although your character might ostensibly have broken the law, they might have been wrongfully accused, framed, or set up. Even if they did commit the crime that's led to their outlaw status, perhaps your character follows a personal code. While structured and methodical, it simply doesn't mesh with Alkenstar's conceptions of law and order. If so, lawful neutral, or even lawful good are great alignment options.
Are they though?
As in nearly all Pathfinder adventure paths, evil alignments are best suited for your party's enemies. Boo, boo. Not your character. Though your character begins the adventure as an outlaw and might even be a selfish anti-hero, the campaign won't put you in positions where you have to commit heinous or evil deeds.
Oh, so it's not obviously the Dragon Lords. That's good.
Likewise, it's assumed that the deeds that made your character a wanted criminal weren't motivated by greed, malevolence, or depravity. Or, if they were, your characters had a dramatic and sincere change of heart between the crime and the beginning of the campaign. As usual, intentionally committing atrocities or victimizing others will make it much harder for you to work with your party and potential allies who don't want anything to do with evildoers.
Okay. I mean, all strong points. Alright. Suggested character options. We strongly recommend that you play chaotic good and chaotic neutral, dwarves, humans. That's it. Alchemists, gunslingers, inventors. You speak common and dwarven. That you're into crafting lore, lore about Alkenstar, Bree, engineering, and thievery. You should focus on alchemical crafting, crafter's appraisal, feather step, quick squeeze, and steady balance. Quick squeeze. Top feats. Interesting. You could also play neutral or neutral good, halflings, half elves, geniekin, gnoll. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Bards, clerics, fighters, investigators, oracles. Should anyone play an oracle? Really? Rogue. Amazing to see rogue not in the top tier. Sorcerer and swashbuckler. Gnoll, goblin, and kalish. Acrobatics, athletics, deception, and society. Deceptive worship. Experience. I guess there's gonna be some cults. Okay. Experienced smuggler, lengthy diversion, pickpocket, quick coercion, quick repair, streetwise. So, all right. What's not recommended? Being lawful good or any of the evil alignments. Agreed. Sure. I would say neutral. Neutral evil though. Come on. Come on. Neutral evil. Come on. Whatever. You don't think they should have medicine? I don't feel like that's good advice. I think everybody should have medicine in a game where the magic system might get screwed over. I don't know. All right. Ancestries. Alkenstar is home to a wide variety of ancestries and ethnicities. Although the majority of its inhabitants are humans, particularly ethnic Gurundi, closely descended from Nexian and Gebite immigrants. Since the city's founding over a century ago, plenty of other diverse peoples have found their footing here, including Mwangi from west of the Barrier Peaks or south of Geb, Kalishites from as near as Katapesh or Kodira, or as far as Kalesh, and Vundrani from Jalmare or elsewhere across the Obari Ocean. Dwarves are the city's second most populous ancestry, many hailing from the nearby sky citadel of Dongun Hold. It was Dongun dwarves who supplied the first firearms to Ansel Alkenstar's burgeoning community. Ansel, what a dope name. Burgeoning community of technologists and magic-weary refugees. Today, Dongun dwarves continue to be regarded as among the best gunsmiths and explosives engineers in the world. Jarek halflings and Vorano elves are far from unknown in Alkenstar. Ambros Mugland and Angelique Lovelace are only two of the most famous examples, respectively. Interesting. Roughly as common as these gnolls and geniekin, the latter of which are perhaps more common than usual in Alkenstar, due in part to the mysterious effects of mana storms on mortal bloodlines. That is interesting. So maybe people's pregnancies are getting modified by magic? Oh, that's pretty dope. Finally, a notable number of Gebite Dampiers. What? Okay. Vampire cowboys. And Nexian flesh warps, comprising a combination of temporary visitors, traveling adventurers, and full-blown expatriates, also call the city of Smog home. Perhaps more than any other ancestries, these individuals are uniquely suited to Alkenstar's industrial environment. Hazardous pollutants and smog are of less concern to undead, and flesh warps too often boast anatomies that lessen the severity of environmental dangers. For more details on these ancestries and others that call Alkenstar home, see the Pathfinder Lost Omens Ancestries Guide. All right. I mean, I'm pretty sold on this shit. I'll tell you what. I'm pretty sold. Let I, it's not that long. Like, let's just power through. Let's just power through. Reach for the skies or I'll bite you. Absolutely. Um, Alkenstar is the inner sea's preeminent hub of technological and industrial innovation. In the city of Smog, the quickest way to gain power, prestige, or profit is to invent something that other people want. This holds as true for adventurers as it does for aristocrats and common folk. Because scientific experiment and progress are keystones of daily life in Alkenstar, alchemists and inventors from our recently released Pathfinder Guns and Gears supplement do extremely well as a general rule. Whether by mixing rare reagents collected from the manor wastes, or by tinkering with the literal tons of scrap that fill Alkenstar's junkyards, there are countless opportunities for old-time residents and newcomers alike to practice the skills necessary to become accomplished in either of these fields. The same can be said for the gunslinger class, which is probably more common in Alkenstar than any other corner of the Inner Sea region. Alkenstar's proximity to Dongung Hold, the birthplace of black powder, means that firearms aren't just easily accessible, but practically commonplace. I mean, even kids have got them. Look at that little boy over there. Yeah, he's got a gun on him. That's how it is in the city of Smog. Guns. Everywhere. Everywhere. Oh, I got distracted, sorry. Mercenaries, monster slayers, bounty hunters, and criminals all might call themselves gunslingers, although only a few ever exhibit the true grit necessary to make it to the big leagues. The most talented shooters and desperados command a high price as guns for hire, or swiftly rise through the ranks of organizations such as the Shield Marshals, making the gunslinger class a natural fit for this campaign. For the full rules on gunslingers and inventors, see the goddamn Pathfinder Guns and Gears book I keep telling you about. Beyond these three thematically suitable classes, the ones that you should be playing, you better have 3 out of 4 of your player characters play Alchemist, Gunslinger, and Inventor, so this is going to be a problem. Characters of any class are well suited for urban adventuring and can hope to succeed in the Outlaws of Alkenstar Adventure Path. Investigators and rogues can uncover countless mysteries and hidden treasures on the streets of the city of Smog, and swashbucklers and bards can likely find opportunities for escapades and entertainment at every turn. For all of Alkenstar's emphasis on technological novelties and progress, it's sometimes hard to beat a well-placed punch or a masterfully executed sword swing. Is it, though? Guns? Yeah, in D&D, yeah, for sure. The fearsome threat of monsters encroaching from the manor wastes makes adventurous martial experts of all stripes, such as fighters, monks, and barbarians, always in high demand. On the spiritual side of things, clerics, champions, and other pious adventurers might strongly consider Bree, the Whisper in Bronze, and patron goddess of the Clockwork inventors, as their deity. The Temple of Bree in Alkenstar is the largest organized church dedicated to the Bronze Lady in the Inner Sea region. Ever-orderly Abadar is also a popular deity with Alkenstar's most cosmopolitan believers. At the other extreme, comfort eschewing wasteland wanderers prefer the age-old wisdom of the divine hunter Erastil. Finally, many Dungun dwarves pay stalwart homage to Torag, father of dwarven kind, and honor him with creative spins on ancient traditions. Because of the surrounding region's unique climate, magic warp and mana storms are relatively common outside the city's walls. Druids, wizards, summoners, and sorcerers are pretty fucked and shouldn't be played in this campaign. As a rule, but they aren't necessarily unknown either. The few arcane spellcasters who are dumb enough to live here, they do so in hopes of attending Blythier College, the city's only official academy of magic. Sorcerers and druids are more likely to dwell on the city's outskirts, where they can better tap into the mysterious powers of so-called wellspring magic. Could this be the ley lines I learned about in my studies?
Many spellcasters living in the city of Smog are exiles from Geb or Nex, where they likely first gained their penchant for ancient necromantic secrets or universal arcane truths, respectively. Witches, magi, and oracles similarly travel to the Manor Waste for their own mysterious reasons, and their unorthodox relationship with esoteria makes them perhaps a bit more common in the weird and wild Manor Wastes. Okay.
Languages.
Owing to its cosmopolitan cultural makeup, the Grand Duchy of Alkenstar's official language is Common, also known as Taldane. Although the high population of dwarves, especially dwarves from Dongung Hold, make Dwarven nearly as ubiquitous.
You think that Dwarven would have like a cooler name than Dwarven, but I don't know.
The most successful merchants and travelers also take it upon themselves to learn Kalish, a language commonly spoken in nearby nations like Geb, Nex, and Katapesh. In the wastelands beyond Alkenstar's walls, roving bandits, violent mutated giants, and horrific monsters tend to speak Knoll, Jotun, Outlaw, or a pidgin of all three. Those who deal with evildoers could do far worse than to practice one of these tongues as well.
Skills and feats.
Alkenstar is a city of inventors and makers. Thus, virtually everyone has at least a bit of training in the crafting skill, which is useful not just for making and repairing things, but also identifying the many different kinds of clockwork creatures that roam the city. By the same token, anyone who expects to be fighting or evading clockworks and their masters would do well to study thievery as a means of disabling devices. Even for those with supernatural means of avoiding arrest, prowess in athletics or acrobatics can often spell the difference between capture and escape. Likewise, silver-tongued outlaws can benefit greatly from expertise in social skills like deception, diplomacy, intimidation, or society. Although performance can be useful for creating diversions, a knack for religion might even be more practical in a settlement whose predominant church, the Temple of Bree, functions like an essential cog in daily goings-on. Of course, when all else fails, there's always pure and simple stealth, an invaluable addition to any outlaw's skill repertoire. Although nature and survival are of minimum use in Alkenstar proper, the outskirts of the city are rife with animals and environmental dangers, making naturalists and survivalists useful in certain situations. While medicine and occultism are always useful skills to have on hand, neither will open any special doors in this campaign. I would say that medicine opens the door of being alive, but among the subcategories of the lore skill, Alkenstar lore, Bree lore, and engineering lore are highly relevant throughout this adventure path. Suitable feats include any that complement your character concept and or play into the above skills. As an outlaw, your character might particularly benefit from feats that could help you survive on the outskirts of proper society, and or without the assistance of the law. Likewise, because Alkenstar's architecture is so tightly packed together, feats that increase mobility in close quarters will typically be more useful than those which require a large animal companion or mount to enjoy. The table on page 9 includes a list of specific feats to consider for your character.
So big Netflix Arcane vibes. Huge Netflix Arcane vibes here. I'm loving it. Hey, this sounds really cool. Backgrounds. Though you can choose any common background for your character, including the one starting on page 60 of the core rulebook, the criminal background is particularly appropriate. The following new backgrounds are designed specifically for the Outlaws of Alkenstar Adventure Path. You can use these backgrounds to inspire personality traits and details that tie your character to Alkenstar. Additionally, each of the following backgrounds includes a reason for your character to seek revenge against one of the two villains who wronged you: the nefarious mogul, Ambrose Mugland, or the corrupt shield marshal, Angelique Lovelace. Alright. Banished Breite. There we go. Banished Breite.
Once you are a dedicated and important priest to Bree, goddess of clockwork and invention, based out of the largest church to your deity, the Temple of Bree in Alkenstar. Here, you made important discoveries in the annals of your religion's canon and furthered the Bronze Lady's agendas of innovation and creation. Your future seemed bright. and you predicted that it was only a matter of time until you ascended to the rank of primary cog, or someday grand cog, which I guess you thought was cool. Then, your years of devout service were undone in an instant. A man named Ambrose Muglin came to the temple and demanded not only the access to the religious formulae that you've been uncovering, but exclusive rights to the precious knowledge. When you refused, Muglin sent word to the church's leaders that you'd been meddling in heretical doctrine. He also implicated you in the theft of church funds that you had mysteriously gone missing as a... Oh my god. Wow, framed you for embezzlement. Sure enough, you found yourself being asked to hand in your robes. Your church colleagues didn't turn you in, but they told you in no uncertain terms that you wouldn't be able to find sanctuary for your alleged crimes in the halls of the Temple of Bree. On the run and with nowhere to turn, your faith has been thoroughly tested. Though so far you've remained true to your religion and maintained your sacred skills and divine powers. It's unclear what the Bronze Lady has in store for you, but at least one thing's for certain. Ambrose Muglin will pay for what he did. Okay, that sounds pretty cool.
Alright, let's see. We're almost there, guys. We're almost there. It's not a lot of backgrounds, but that's cool. These remind me a lot of like the epic paths from Odyssey of the Dragonlord. Let's see. Framed in Ferris Quarter.
Everyone knows that Ferris Quarter ain't exactly the nicest part of Alkenstar. Hard-working laborers, gunsmiths suffering from black lung, and red-eyed tinkerers alike can toil their entire lives on these grimy streets and still wind up dead in an alley with nothing to show for it. You were once one of these humble artisans until one day out of nowhere, things broke bad.
Fuck yeah.
Maybe you hung out with the wrong crowd. Maybe it was just bad luck. Whatever the case, you were framed for a crime you didn't commit. Larceny, smuggling, possibly even murder. You didn't stick around long enough to find out. Exactly. The shield marshals banging on your door were charging you with. Now, you're on the lam, uncertain where you'll be able to get a good night's sleep, let alone your next meal. At least one thing's for sure, though. Before you turned heel and ran into the streets, you saw a telltale signature on that arrest warrant. It was the scrawl of a corrupt shield marshal who's framed countless other hard-working folks in your neighborhood on the basis of cooked-up evidence. Yeah, you're sure of it. The crooked guard who took you down is none other than Deputy Angelique Lovelace, and you're determined to return the favor.
Chooses. Okay, that's pretty cool. Inexplicably expelled.
Gaining admission to the Blythier College is a difficult task, even for Alkenstar's most well-to-do families. In the Magic Wharf Manor Waste, it's next to impossible to fake arcane talents or alchemical aptitude. So when you were accepted to the school, it was one of the most triumphant moments of your nerdy little life. Unfortunately, your victory was short-lived. Just as you were making significant headway on a promising series of explosive experiments, you found a letter on your desk informing you that, effective immediately, you were permanently expelled from Blythier College. As bogus as the punishment was, the charges leveled against you were even more puzzling. Theft of property? Both intellectual and physical, and just like that, you found your prestigious honors replaced with a ruined reputation, and your colleagues and mentors became bitter rivals and accusers. In an instant, you'd gone from promising scholar to wanted criminal. You followed the money for answers, and learned that a shady financier named Ambrose Muglin didn't want you to finish your research at Blythier. He learned that you were on the brink of a great discovery, one that even you weren't fully aware of, and he decided that your eminent breakthrough would be bad for business. Unfortunately for Muglin, he chose the wrong student to destroy. Now you'll do whatever's necessary to get your revenge on the villain who stole the future you had worked so hard to build for yourself.
Goddamn. These are really good. Ratted out gunrunner.
Sure, you got a checkered past. Who doesn't? It's hard to make a living in the city of smog, so you did what you could to put silvers in your pocket and food on the table. You made a good deal of money selling firearms from the gunworks to people who perhaps shouldn't have had them. You even worked with wasteland marauders a few times, sticking up Ustrati barges plying the river between the gunworks and Alkenstar. Of course, you never hurt any innocents or did anything truly heinous. Your criminal career was always just a matter of money. One day, a corrupt financier named Ambrose Smuggling, that motherfucker, a true crook if there ever was one, approached you, demanding a cut of your business. When you refused, he put in a word with the shield marshals that you'd be in a certain somewhere at a certain time with a certain large quantity of illegally obtained firearms. Even though you escaped arrest, your identity was compromised, and your old accomplices have all turned their backs on you. Your gun running days are clearly over. Now you're just running to get your fake mustache and the mustache glue so it stays on.
Snubbed out Stoolie.
You were once a distinguished informant for the shield marshals, working deep undercover to infiltrate gangs of bootleggers and assassins. One day, you discovered that the records of your service had been completely destroyed. In an instant, you were no longer an elite spy impersonating a criminal. You were just a plain criminal. Now, not a trace remains of your work for the city. Not only is it as though you were never a shield marshal at all, but you got a rap sheet implicating you as a key member of the criminal organizations you spent your career infiltrating. Luckily, no one could take away the skills you learned from your deep cover missions, and your new notoriety has earned you quite a reputation amongst Alkenstar's criminal elite. Though your underworld connections, you've identified Deputy Shield Marshal Angelique Lovelace as the one responsible for your fall from grace. It seems you were on to something that she didn't want you to know about. But there's only one way to figure out exactly why Lovelace ruined your reputation and gave you your outlaw status. You gotta find her.
Damn. Okay. And then we got Wanted Witness is the last one.
You saw something you shouldn't have, plain and simple. The shame is you don't even know what it is exactly that you saw. After moving to Alkenstar, you swiftly fell in love with the city of Smog, but you found it difficult to get a foothold in the fast-paced metropolis. Luckily, a chance invitation promised good work for someone with your unique social talents. You went to an inconspicuous chamber in a humble tower somewhere near the capital district. There, you met some clearly powerful, clearly corrupt members of the Alkenstar elite. Among the faces you recognized was the notorious mogul Ambrose Smuggling, that motherfucker, and the steely-eyed shield marshal Angelique Lovelace. Before you were asked to leave, you made quite an impression, but not a good one. Not only did you not make the cut for whatever kinds of jobs were on offer that day, but you soon discovered that you couldn't get a room at any inn in the city, and there were wanted posters with your name on them plastered all over town. Friends and families turned their backs on you, afraid to get involved. Clearly, someone at that meeting, Muglin, maybe, or perhaps Lovelace, believed that you were a liability, and they had you excised from Alkenstar society. All you want is to be able to walk the streets without fearing for your life, and there's only one way to make that happen. Find the villains responsible for your predicament and get them to undo the curse now attached to your name.
Hot damn. This adventure is fire. Oh my god. What the fuck? This is good stuff. Urban Dragon Dice. This is a pretty awesome AP. Well liked. Well, I like it for sure. Man. Okay. I'm doing it. I'm gonna do this. I have to find out what happens. I have to find out what happens. I am. I like this so much. I want to play it, but no. I should run this. I should run this. Oh man, this is dope as hell. Oh my god. Whoo, man. All right. Well, what I would probably do is I would do 3-hour sessions. It would be a paid game. We'd cap it at 4 players, so I wouldn't have to rebalance the adventure. But to make up for the being 4 players, it'd be 25 a week. And I wouldn't be able to start it until Red Hand was over. I feel like I'd have to wait until Red Hand was over. And then run it in the Saturday morning spot. Because I don't really want to do anything on Monday nights. And I can't really commit to a Wednesday night as a DM because I have to work Wednesday nights sometimes. So, Thursday we got Curse of Strahd Nightfall. Sunday morning we got Curse of Strahd Daybreak. Sunday night we got Mythic Odyssey. Every other Saturday night I've got playing video games with friends, and then every other Saturday night I got friends and family Curse of Strahd game. So I'm pretty full up for time. But man, what a cool adventure. Oh my god. I want to find. All right, I gotta find out. I gotta get a picture of these two bad guys. I gotta see who these two bad guys look like. I hope I don't get any spoilers here. I'll look in a different monitor in case I find spoilers. All right. I shouldn't have to go too far to find their names. They're on every single background. Ambrost Mugland. Is he a halfling? Is the main bad guy a halfling? Oh my god, he's a little mean halfling. Oh my fucking god. All right, hold on. Let's see. Look at this! Look at him! Oh my god, he's perfect! Oh man. He got a little cigar. He's not, oh my god, he's got rings on his toes. Oh my god. Alright, I gotta see the other lady. Let's see. Shield Warden. Angelique. Heartless? I can't remember the name. Hold on. Even though I read it about 400 times. I like this one where you were like an undercover cop who got like ratted out. I thought that was pretty dope. One thing that I would probably add would be the one good cop. So like the one good cop that was like, oh shit, we're the bad guys, and then they framed him for a crime, and then he ended up in prison, and then he had to escape from prison, and now he's like a cop, but he's on the run, which I think is somehow cooler than an undercover cop who gets sold out. But like, I wouldn't say no to both, you know what I mean? But I feel like the one good cop is like a really good angle for this adventure as well. I like that quite a bit. Man. This has like all of the things that I like about Arcane, and also just, oh man, it's just so good. All right, the Arcane vibes are like really really big. So I'm not seeing any art for this person. Oh wait, there she is. Okay. And here's the other boss. Oh man, she got two different colored eyes. Look at all them bullets. Oh my god. Wow. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay, so the here's a good reason why you would read a player's guide. I read the Serpent Seas player's guide and I felt bad at the end. I was like, God damn, this is a mess, right? I read this and I got increasingly more and more excited about it, and I wanted to read all of it. So like, that's telling to me about what I would enjoy running. Do you know what I'm saying? This sounds so exciting and so interesting and so different than things that I've been running lately. I am excited about this. I am very excited. So yeah, this is good stuff. Whew. All right. Well, I got stuff going on this evening. There is no Odyssey Prime tonight, so I will not be back online until tomorrow. We'll do some Pathfinder 2 study session before we play Abomination Vaults tomorrow night. Nothing going on Wednesday night either. Thursday we got Curse of Strahd Nightfall, etc., etc., etc. Thank you all for hanging out. This sounds like an amazing campaign. I might edit this video and then use it as part of my pitch for the game. Like, you don't even have to read the player's guide. I read it for you, baby. So anyways, I will see you guys next time.